Hi all, I'm Dee and welcome to Decode's YouTube channel. In this video, I'll be solving some previous year Deloitte NLA questions, particularly aptitude, so that it will be useful for you in the upcoming days if you've got your assessment scheduled. Okay, let's get into this. But before that, I'd like to show you my YouTube channel, which is Decodes. The purpose of this channel is to be useful for others who are all preparing for their interviews so that they can get to the next steps of their lives. So my channel provides various contents on interview preparation, starting from the first round to the last round. Okay, so if you are preparing or your friends are preparing, please to give me a subscription and share it with them, and subscribe to me and like my videos, and do comment if you've got any doubts. Okay, now let's get into solving these questions. So the first question is actually we'll have to find the number at the place of x so that this series is completed. Fine, every series has some kind of logic going on. So I'll just use trial and error to solve this. Okay, so I'll just take 219 as an example, like as a trial. 219, 201, 174, and 136. So let's just try to find the difference, because I always go with differences first. Difference between these two numbers are 6. Difference between 230 and 219 is actually 11. 219 and 201 is actually 18. 201 and 174, it's actually 27. The difference between 174 and 136 is actually 10 to the 38. Fine. So now difference between 6 and 11, it's actually 5. 11 and 18, it's obvious 7. 18 and 27, it's actually 9. And difference between 27 and 38 is 27, 37 is 11. So if you find the difference between 7 and 5, it's 2. Between 9 and 7, it's 2. Between 11 and 9, it's 2. So the difference, the ultimate difference is always 2. Right? So if you only put 219 here, you'll get this. Anything other than 219, you'll not get it. So you'll have to do trial and error with each option, and you'll have to find the answer in this way. Okay, now let's go to the next question. A certain number of soldiers went to war and 15% of the soldiers died in the war. 5% of the remaining soldiers left the battlefield out of fear. If the number of soldiers has now reduced to 3553, then how many soldiers initially went to war? Okay, now a certain number of soldiers went to war, right? So we'll just take the soldiers that initially went to war as X. Fine. Now uh, they've given 3553. Okay. So 15% of the soldiers, 15% of the soldiers died in the war, which means the remaining 85% are still alive. Okay, and 5% of the remaining soldiers left the battlefield out of fear, and that means 95% didn't leave. So this is actually the remaining soldiers who are still alive and didn't leave the battlefield. So, and that is actually the number 3553. Okay, now this is actually the number 3553. So if you really look into it, the number of soldiers has now reduced to this particular number, which means that initially it was like 5000 or something. We'll have to find that, right? And then after that some things happened, like uh, dying in the war and leaving out of fear and everything. So this is how you need to form the equation in order to find the answer. Now let's just try to solve this. So if you try to solve this, you will get it as, okay, now x equals 3553 into, this will be 10 power 4 divided by 85 into 95, right? Now let's just try to solve this actually, and if you put divided by 85 and 95, the ultimate answer would actually be 4400. Okay, you can just simply do this. This is 10 plus 6, 16, 67. This will be 4400, and that would be the answer. Fine, now let's go to the next question. Bob went to the market to buy some Swiss cheese. He bought some cheese worth rupees 250, out of which 5 rupees was spent as sales tax. What is the cost of tax-free items if the tax rate is 10%? Note, we'll have to choose the option that coincides to the nearest integer. Okay, they've given the tax rate as 10%. So this is a very tricky question. It might look easy, but it's a very tricky question. They've given the tax rate as 10%. Okay, now sales tax is, so what exactly is sales tax? So sales tax is actually this much tax rate of taxable amount. So they've given the sales tax as 5%, like 5 rupees. This 5 rupees, it's actually 10% of the amount, taxable amount. Okay, so the taxable amount would be, so amount equal to 5 divided by 10 by 100. So 10 1, 10 tens are 100. So ultimately, so go here 50. This is actually the taxable amount. So taxable amount is actually the amount on which you can apply the tax on. Okay, this is the taxable amount, and after applying the tax, this amount totals to 55. So they are asking about the tax-free amounts. So 250 rupees has tax-free amounts and taxable amount. Taxable amount is 55. Then what is the tax-free amount? And that is 250 minus 55, which is equal to 195. Okay, now let's get into the next question. I hope you got it. Okay, so here's the next one. A bus driver crossed a flyover with his bus in 30 seconds. The bus is actually 130 meters in length and moving at a speed of 43 km per hour. So we'll have to analyze the given scenario. The flyover on which the bus driver is driving is dash long. Okay, so this is actually, let's take this to be the flyover, and we don't really know about the length. They are asking us to find us the length, right? So we'll just take it in this way. So we know that speed is equal to distance by time. Okay, so they've given the speed as 43 kilometer per hour, so 43, and the distance is actually, so the bus is 130 meters in length, and the bus is actually traveling through the flyover, right? So we'll have to take that length also. We'll just take that length as x. The total distance the bus has driven is actually this length of the bus plus x. So you will ultimately get 130 plus x divided by the time is 30 seconds. So since the options are in meters, we'll convert this kilometer per hour into meter per second, which is into 5 by 18. And if you properly like solve everything, you will get the answer as 228 meters. Okay, 228 meters. Fine. So this is about this particular question. Now let's get to the next question. Next in the series, it's actually we'll have to find whatever comes next. So if you closely look into this is actually 7 cube is 343, and then 9 cube is 729, 11 cube it's actually 1331. So we're skipping 2 digits ahead and going 1 digit ahead. 7 9 11, and then the next one is 13. So what is 13 cube? 13 cube is actually 2197. So this is the answer. Okay, okay, so now let's get into the next one. So four of the following five are alike in a certain way and so form a group. Which one does not belong to that group? So if you look into this, cricket, football, polo and hockey um, are outdoor games. Only carom is indoor game, so the odd one out that doesn't belong to the group is carom. Okay, let's get into the next question. In the word contractual, the positions of the first and the 11th letters are interchanged. And then the position of the second and 10th letters are interchanged. And so on up to 5th and 7th, and keeping the center letter, which is 6th letter, unchanged. So we'll have to find the letter as per this question. Let's just do whatever they've asked us to do. Okay, so I'll just take this. So here I'll just number this so it's convenient for you. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 and 11. So they're interchanging 1 and 11. So 1 and 11 interchanged, we'll get L and C. 2 and 10 interchanged, we'll get A and O. 3 and 9th position interchanged, we'll get U and N. And then these two interchanged, 4th and 8th position, just remain same because the letters are same. And we have to do the interchanging up to 5th and 7th. So this will become C and R. The center one, 6 will remain the same. So we have to find the letter which will be third to the right of the sixth letter from the left end. So if you get this kind of question, always start from the last. This is the left end, right? So from the left end, which is third, which is the sixth letter. One, two, three, four, five, six. So this is the sixth letter, right? Okay. We have to find the right side is actually this one, and which is third to the right of this one. One, two, three. So this is the answer. So N would be the answer. N is third to the right of the sixth letter from left end. So the answer is N. Okay, now let's get into the next question. In a certain code, late is written in this way, and how would wide is written in this way? How is dial written? So you'll have to analyze these two and come to conclusion. So we already have D. So D is coded as triangle, and then I. So I, it's coded as question mark. So triangle, question mark. So you've got these two, right? A. So A is coded as percentage. Sorry, it's coded as percentage, and then L is coded as dollar. So the answer is this one. Okay, fine. Let's get into the next question. So we have to find what will come in the place, the question mark in the following series based on the given position. Okay, so I want you people to solve this particular question and put in the comment box, and I'll tell you if it's right or wrong. Right? So just solve this one question. Okay, just try to practice it. So this is also, you'll have to follow some kind of logic here. Just look into this, okay, and put it in the comment box below. Okay, so I've got some verbal questions also. So please to read all the questions that they've given here properly. What they're asking is, we'll have to find, like, read each sentence and find out if there is any grammatical error. The error, if the error is in anything, it will be in any part of the sentence. If there is no error, we can just choose no error. You should not include the punctuations in this. Always ignore the errors of punctuation. Okay, now let's get into this. Out of these four, something is wrong. We discussed about the problem so thoroughly on the eve of the examination that I found it very easy to work it out, or no error. So if you look into this, always discussed comes alone. You should not put about with discussed. That is grammatically wrong. Discussed should always come alone. So the answer is, we discussed the problem so thoroughly. It's just, we discussed the problem so thoroughly. That's it. Okay. I've read too many books by R.K. Narayan, or no error. So you should not, so when you're using many, you should not use two. Many is always accompanied by so. So it's so many. Okay, so the answer is option B, which is the like the sentence with error. Let's get to the next one. He was sure that he should win the prize, or it is no error. It's actually, he was sure that he would win the prize. It's not should. Should is actually compulsory. Okay, compulsory, right? Should is like, you should do this. It is out of compulsion. But here they're talking about surety, talking about ability, right? So during ability, if you're talking about ability, you can use will or can. But the most appropriate one is would. He was sure that he would win the prize. This is like standard rules in grammar. Okay, so the answer is that he should, which is the wrong part. Let's go to the next one. He fell from a running train and would have died if the villagers did not get him admitted in the nearby hospital immediately. Okay, so if you look into this, he fell from a running train. This is actually correct. And would have died. Okay, so they've used if clause here. So they've used if clause here, right? So here this is actually kind of like an imaginary situation. Okay, so if the villagers actually came to the rescue and saved him when he fell from the running train, but if they had not come, what would have happened? He would have died. So this is an imaginary kind of situation, and at that case, you should not use did. You should use had plus V3. Okay, if the villagers had not gotten him admitted in the nearby hospital. So get, got, gotten. So if they had not gotten him admitted in the nearby hospital, he would have died. Okay, so if had comes here, you should always use would have. Would have is like an imaginary situation. Okay, so yeah. this is all about this particular video. In the next part we can see about more number of questions. Okay, I'll definitely put next part, so please do stay tuned and prepare well for your examination. All the best, and I'll see you in another video. Till then, take care and bye bye.